doing all the way over here? I'd scoot my chair in more, but my cat just sat down right there, so let's scoot you guys there. Alright, hello and welcome back everybody to the channel. We're just gonna do a nice cozy stream tonight. Probably 1.5 hours because my cat needs his medicine around that time, and I think he's also demanding screen time. He's just staring at me menacingly. But yeah, we're gonna do a short game dev stream tonight. If you're newer to the channel, I like to do these. I'm a game developer, a level designer specifically professionally in the industry. I've got AAA, AA, and indie experience. I just like making all types of levels. But I like to decompress at the end of the day and work on some personal work. It's not as polished as my like teamwork, but it's a nice like sandbox brainstormy ideas for me to either try out new things or for me to just decompress and do some silly fun stuff. So this year I've kind of started up a little sandbox, little educational. I'm not gonna package or sell, never monetize this stuff, probably never even like package it publicly for folks. If so, it would be with a lot of this is educational, like A-level design study I'm doing. But since Nintendo still hasn't remade or even ported Kid Icarus Uprising anywhere, I've been remaking some of the arenas in Unreal Engine 5. Currently we're using Unreal Lyra as a template, which is really great as a template. Kind of a pain to work with and modify, but I might try later in the year modifying some of the visuals and some of the gameplay values. Definitely a lot of heavy tutorial work that I need to do for that, even though I've dipped my toes in altering templates before. Lyra's very different. I've had even very seasoned programmers tell me they hate working with Lyra, so it would be a lot of work even to change the basic stuff. But I would like to alter it to be a bit closer to how Kid Icarus's light VOD dark mode works in the game. We've had to make some layout changes, mostly to provide more cover, just because Kid Icarus is a little more melee focused and a little more balanced and slow all around, while Lyra is very fast-paced and shooter and long-range focused. So yeah, there's some balancing things, but currently we have done rough blockouts for Forgotten City and Spiral Tower, those two maps. I'd like to add a third map into the rotation this summer, but we've gotten both of these into kind of a final like revised blockout state, and we've started doing art. Now I'm not an artist, so these art passes are designer art and they're very ugly compared to very professional art passes, but I do want to do a kind of initial art pass on each of these maps before we are going to take a brief pause from the game dev streams just for a couple weeks. But Fantasy Life I comes out at the end of the month, and actually all of our streams, our weekend streams, our morning streams, and our game dev night streams are all going to be Fantasy Life for basically the last 2 months of May, and then when June rolls around we'll resume all our regularly scheduled stuff, which includes game dev streams on Thursday nights. I am itching to do another like game dev Saturday or Sunday stream at some point. We'll see if we have anything open up for that this month. I don't think we will, but maybe at the start of June, because I also want to play Mario Kart World as close to release as possible. I have not gotten a Switch 2 yet. I failed the pre-order retail wars, and I did not get an email today from my Nintendo, so it's... At least I know with my Nintendo, they said they are going to roll out invites to everybody, eventually at some point this summer is the plan. It's just, I think the remaining first round of waves, is going to roll out over the course of the weekend for if you get it on release day. I believe there might be a few more waves throughout the month that you'll be able to place your order before release day. It might not arrive until after release. And then after that, they might not send out another wave of invites until after Switch 2 is like fully launched. But they said they will pump those invites out to you eventually, and they won't stop until all of those orders are met. It might take a little more time. So I'm not really heavily watching any retailer stuff, but our current stream plan is I would love to, and I've carved out time to play Mario Kart like for a full weekend once we get our hands on it. I probably won't get any other games right away. I would love to get Donkey Kong and Prime 4 when they come out on Switch 2, but probably won't get any until either the holidays, which would suck to wait that long, but they are expensive. I love Nintendo, but the games are expensive, so probably I'd wait until the holidays, or if I had any birthday cash, like eShop cards, then I could get those. But yeah, at the moment we're kind of just focusing on Mario Kart World for that, and the Tears of the Kingdom upgrade for our Tears of the Kingdom playthrough that we put on hold until that upgrade comes out. So we will get into Mario and Zelda again on the channel when we get a Switch 2, but whether that's at the start of June or whether that's closer to the end of the summer, TBD on that. But yeah, if we end up having like a little extra time in June, as much as I would love to fill it with Switch 2 stuff, that gives us a little more time to do some game dev streams. Maybe do a few weekend ones. It lets us do a little bit of extra Elden Ring perhaps, and it lets us Fantasy Life, I'm pretty sure, is going to be a beefy game. If it's anything like the original was, that one was pretty hefty, so we'll be able to fill the streaming slots for sure. But that is where we're at on the Switch 2 war right now. Yeah, for game dev stuff, where we're at right now with the remaining May game dev streams is we have the stream tonight, which we're going to just be doing a foliage and a destruction pass on, and maybe a decal pass as well. Not really any lighting or anything, but just kind of doing a detail pass on what we have already structurally for Forgotten City here. We did something similar with the jump from the in-progress art stuff to the slightly more polished art stuff the other night, or last week I guess. Mainly I remembered how to do destructibles, which I went on a whole tangent about my love-hate relationship with destructibles on the last VOD of this. But yeah, this was basically where we've done this level over, I think, what, 6? This would be 6 streams, right? We have the concept stuff, starting to put the level together, block out 1, block out 2, and then we got art 1 and 2. So yeah, we got a few streams of that, probably around like 10 hours of work into that. And then we're going to jump back to the first map we started with here, and now that we've actually progressed this slightly further by giving it some foliage and giving it some destructibles and doing a little more detail on the textures, we're basically just gonna go back to this level and show it the same love. And then next Thursday, will be our last game dev stream for the month. Again, they'll resume probably at the start of June, I imagine, but yeah, I'm having just the biggest brain farts tonight. A long work day again. Actually, it didn't go too long, like hours wise, but just I got a lot of work done, which felt very productive, but my brain is a little shot, so we're just gonna be placing flowers tonight and trees. Pretty things. But yeah, we're doing the art revision on this one tonight, because for the stream next week, we're just going to actually mostly playtest these 2 levels and see what we're feeling about what we're wanting to do future revisions wise. So we might do a little bit of planning and playtesting next stream. And I'd like to do maybe just a little bit of detail lighting, not like a production lighting pass or anything fancy, but maybe put in some like colored lights in areas that we want to revisit when we come back as a reminder to like what we want the tone to be. And I might, if I have time prior to that stream, I kind of want to set up a level for us to like load in these arenas for, but I got a good idea for that today, like making an actual lobby long term to load into these for, so we might just individually playtest these, and I'd like to work on the lobby, or at least plan that out off stream and see how feasible that idea is for our streaming setup. But yeah, this is... we haven't been in here in a minute, but I did start just to make sure some stuff was working prior to stream. I did place down some of the basic stuff I want to do today, so we've got foliage. The grass looks lovely on the grass landscape isn't bad, especially since we're just remaking a 3DS thing, right? But it definitely feels more alive with clusters of foliage on it, and we have all these little like grass spots, and we have these like flower boxes in here. So a little bit of foliage is going to brighten that up, and what we currently have from the meadow pack that we already added to the project last week or 2 weeks ago maybe. And we have in our previous Lyra project, we did a pumpkin patch arena that actually I put on my portfolio last year. So we used a lot of meadow stuff for that, so I do like this pack quite a bit. And then for destruction, I already made this into a destructible with the fracture tool in Unreal 5. I don't think it's in 4. But yeah, we got that on there. I already made one of them, and I'd like to apply that to all of the new cover that we've added, as well as there's some things like this wall right here in the original game, and as you can see, I just blocked them out with cubes here. But there are some things even like this, these little things that I'm realizing, oh, that will actually look a lot better with the destructible tool. So we will get to work on that. And then we got a tree. We have trees confirmed. I'm not going to put nearly as many of these, if anyone remembers the pumpkin patch stuff. We're not going to place nearly as many of those down, so no worries. But, yeah, I would like to place a few down just to break up line of sight slightly, and just make it not look so boring. But yeah, I will run around and I'm not good at using the Lyra template, but I will run around and play test for a little bit so we can see the arena in action. But yeah, I hope you all have been doing well. If you are a fan of these types of videos, if you're lurking or if you're watching the VOD back either on Twitch or YouTube, if you haven't seen it already, I actually posted my first attempt at a video essay on our YouTube channel. It's still Emily Cookie Dough, and it's called I don't read tutorials, I want to play them. And it's basically documenting, it's just like 20 minutes, but it's me discussing my thoughts on my favorite tutorials in games and my least favorite tutorials, and kind of what the differences are between them. It actually ended up being more positive. Actually, it ended up having more examples game-wise of positive features, but I think I do spend a lot of time critiquing, but not in a mean way. Not in a mean way at all. I try to be good about critiquing stuff, but not being mean about it, because I hate when people do mean critiques of stuff. So yeah, if you are especially a fan of these game dev videos, then go ahead and check that out. I do want to start doing those kind of edited videos, at least, even if they end up being the most I'm able to do is like a really quick like goofy edit of something that's only a few minutes long and it's just me yapping about something weird. I do want to do those types of unique uploads that I can put out to subscribers first for a week and then fully upload to Twitch and YouTube for everybody. And I want to put those out on a monthly basis, so they'll come out around like the 6th, 7th, 8th of each month, depending on when exactly the first uploads go up to subscribers, but they'll go up to everybody around like the first half of the month. No! Yay! And I've got kind of, it's semi a follow-up video. It technically started as a, oh no. It technically started as a different concept. But while I was writing the script for this tutorial video, I had a lot of indie game examples, and then I realized a lot of it like wasn't, I needed to condense the video down, so I was starting to trim it to just like big AAA games, and also examples of stuff at the very start of like the actual tutorial, very beginning of a game, rather than tutorializing mechanics, but that happen further on. So yeah, because of that I ended up scrapping a lot of like indie focused and tutorial mechanic stuff that you learn later in games. But I realized it would fit really well for our next video, which is about storytelling with gameplay. So not quite tutorials, but in the same vein of me wanting to play games instead of just reading about them. It's show don't tell, basically. The main vibe I can give for the game is like obviously Undertale and Deltarune have to be discussed. I feel in a topic like that. But also stuff like, especially in indie horror games, when you see you show a player the like hide mechanic before they've seen whatever the monster in your game is. So you're teaching them that mechanic, but you're also teaching them like fear and a motivator. You're not like dropping a text box saying, hey, there's a monster in this game, did you know that? It's just, if you have like press H to hide, that will teach them the fear part of it on their own. So that's just a little sneak peek, I guess, of what I'm noodling on for the— damn. What I'm noodling on for the next game video idea. And then I even have all the way up to, there was like kind of a three-way tie between, I think, the most popular ideas you guys want to see on the Discord. So then I asked subscribers in that Discord directly, and yeah, that's the order of videos we will be uploading. So I think the one after this, that will go up in July, I guess, for everybody, it's actually going to be about the 3DS eShop. Oh, I'm so good at this game. Ignore all the deaths before. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh my gosh, that's on me, that's on me. I saw all the misses. I think we actually won a match last time, so there is proof that I am capable of playing playing my own levels out there somewhere. It's not a lot of proof, but it exists. Oh. That's fine, that's fine. I don't have to be good at the level to make it. Which is true. You don't necessarily have to be good at a genre to make it. It just makes getting feedback and listening to feedback all the more important. Like, watching people playtest stuff is very important to me. Because I'm not good at it. The most work I've done in level design has been for arena designs, which is probably why I get drawn back to them, even though I can do anything I want on our stream projects. My heart does get drawn back to just making little arenas like this more consistently. But I don't actually play, I guess I was addicted to Kid Icarus, obviously, but I don't actually play arenas in my free time too much. Like you guys can see on the channel, I'm very much either a cozy game, but I like to cause torture and distress to like Sims and stuff as my cozy games, or like stalk people in Stardew Valley. That's my idea of a good time. Or like let's do Foliage first. Or play something that will break my heart, like a good JRPG or a good like Western RPG. I have a feeling GTA 6 is gonna break my heart, honestly. Other than the long wait. But yeah, they're giving very Bonnie and Clyde. Final Fantasy 16? Bonnie and Clyde vibes, but that story does not have a happy ending, so I'm like, oh no. But yeah, I don't think I haven't actually streamed any Rockstar games, but they are a huge part of like the games that I like to play. But I do play most of them with my dad. So when GTA 6 comes out in over a year now, I'll definitely be playing it day one, but I think actually we're gonna plan to, I might take a few days off work, honestly. Like, might take a few days off of work and like do a sleep. We might go sleep over at my parents' house or something. But screw it, I'll make my partner take off work. I'll be like, hey, this is a family affair. We gotta. It's GTA 6, which is crazy because GTA 5 came out, what, 2013? I was like just turning a teenager. Like, it's probably 13 or... Yeah, I think I was probably 12 or 13 when GTA 5 came out. I remember it coming out because my uncle and my dad had played GTA 4 in San Andreas, I believe, a lot. And I remember like staying up when I was supposed to be sleeping on the couch at like Uncle and Aunt's place. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna sleep out here and I'll sleep peacefully. And I'm like, all the other girls, you can sleep in there. I'll just sleep here on the couch because there's more room out here. And then I would like have one eye open and I would like watch them play. So I remember when 5 came out, and being like, no, I won't play, I swear. And then like my uncle and dad passing the controls to me, and I very quickly started to become too good at the game, and they would then start passing the controller to me for assistance. They're like, well, we need her to play the game. But yeah, that's crazy. I wonder for how many people. It's probably a good amount of people that needed parental supervision for GTA 5 and are now just grown adults waiting to request PTO for GTA 6. It doesn't feel like as long of a gap because they do keep re-releasing 5, so I keep replaying it. I'm not really sure where all. I might just. You know what? I'll put this foliage like a lot of places, and then we'll like use the erase tool to carve some pathing out of it. I'm gonna put it around the exterior of the map for sure. But yeah, with like GTA 5 being re-released over and over again, GTA Online being a thing, and then modded GTA 5, and especially I think Red Dead 2 being so big, it really hasn't felt like as big of a gap as like the gap between Elder Scrolls games feels bigger to me. The gap between Kingdom Hearts 3 and 4 feels bigger to me than the gap between 2 and 3 ever did, because there were a lot of re-releases and ports and spin-off games that weren't really spin-off games, actually. I'll use the erase tool to get that too. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I do want to play a Rockstar game on stream at some point. I feel like the game I'll play on stream if I were to do a Rockstar game would have to be Red Dead 2. I think that might just be my favorite from them. GTA 5 and like San Andreas have very special places in my heart, but Red Dead 2 also has a very special place in my heart, and it's just such a banger. I haven't replayed it in maybe a year or two now, so getting the urge to... I keep getting the urge to... I kind of reached like a good stopping point in Yakuza 7. I haven't rebeat it, but Majima showed up, so I'm like, I'm just gonna stay and gamble for a bit in that game. I'm in a good spot to gamble, which is like the ideal Yakuza save file, I think. Let's add some flowers for the flower boxes here. Right? Or is there anywhere else I want to put these weeds? Around here. But yeah, I'm getting the urge to like replay a longer game in my free time. Maybe I'll go back to... I haven't played my Sims 4 Decades file in a few weeks, but that's because I've been using a lot of mods and a lot of them broke with the last update, so I've been waiting on those to get repaired. Basically, the biggest issue I'm having right now is I'm using like MCCC as like the main mod. It's basically like the command center to edit all the values in the game. And there used to be a checkbox in one of the older versions that had like it basically enabled like cheating, and not cheating because then that would have like a moodlet associated with it and it would have drama. So I have that stuff enabled because I like the drama, but it had like no strings attached, kissing and like woohooing without consequences. So then you don't get any of the jealousy or the drama of like having someone a sim cheat or having like them have a secret family or a falling out. Like you don't get any of the drama, but you just get them like being distracted and having a bunch of random hearts with people they've never actually spoken to, but they'll like drop everything to go randomly woohoo in a dumpster or something, and it's getting real annoying. I think I had it on for like a different type of challenge or just for the chaos of it in a different file, but I forgot to turn it. I never turned it back off, but I want that specific option turned off in my Decades challenge now. But I also have a ton of settings. Like I can't just grab a fresh one because I have a ton of settings that have taken literal hours for me to perfect some of these values for my challenge. But yeah, they like pulled that setting from their recent builds of that mod, but it didn't like disable it, it just pulled the ability to alter it. So I have no way for the Sims to remain faithful, basically, and it just kind of frustrated me to the point that I'm like, I'll pick up this challenge once I find a fix. I might have to like copy my settings, hop back in time to a file with the broken mod, hope it doesn't break my PC, turn it off, and then re-download the new stuff and hope it saves my settings. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Life is so hard. But yeah, since I've been waiting on that, I've been really wanting to like start up a longer playthrough. I've been really wanting to do either Red Dead 2 or revisit a Final Fantasy game. Because I haven't actually played, like in person, sat down and played a Final Fantasy in front of my partner. I know he really liked when I played 16, so 16 will always have a special place in my heart. So I kind of am tempted to do a like new game plus of 16, because I only did the stream file we did when it first came out and revisited it for the DLC, but I haven't done a full replay of 16. So I kind of am tempted to do that. I want to replay before whenever we get the final part to 7 remake, I want to replay the original FF7 remake and rebirth in my free time. We don't have the time to do all that on stream, but I want to like replay all those games. Definitely at least rebirth with all the like the costumes and stuff, like all the beach wear and all my maxed out weapons. I want to do a new game plus of just on its own would even be fun. I'm also getting the urge to either do a new game plus of my console for like Final Fantasy 15 is another favorite of mine, or just replay my favorite game, Final Fantasy 10. I feel like it's been a few years maybe since I last replayed it. But the reason I haven't started any of these is Elden Ring. I am really trying hard to focus on grinding in Elden Ring a bit more off stream, especially since if I do hopefully get lucky, that's still my hope, is that I will find a way to get a Switch 2 somehow, somewhere. We will find a way to make that happen. And if that is the case, then we will be able to play that early June. So my plan is to not revisit Elden Ring until like late June, and then to do that back-to-back and have our July Elden Ring stream be like 4th of July. So we kind of get 2 to 3 Elden Ring streams in what feels like back-to-back succession. But that means that the delay between now and our next Elden Ring stream feels quite long, but I'm trying to use that to like genuinely level grind and genuinely have fun with the game on my own. I think it was starting to kick in last stream that the training wheels were kind of coming off, and the luxury of, oh, she's a new player to Elden Ring, I think was wearing off, and people were like, okay, stop being an idiot, like you have to play the game correctly now, is what it felt like. So I'm like, oh god, I gotta actually like study and lock in for this now. It's no longer like my first time booting up Elden Ring. Like we've done a few streams of this now. I think we're what, like 30 hours in or something. It's like I should probably know basic game mechanics by now. Actually, I don't want this part up here to be that overrun. That looks ugly. It's still gonna look ugly, but I have a different plan for up here. Actually, where are the stones? I'd like to just put a lot of debris up there, but I don't remember where all the little rocks went. Oh, they're in here. Yeah, give me the rocks. Right? Oh, I still have the eraser. I might need some grass with it. Maybe that one. Okay, maybe a little more than that one. Which ones are too tall? It's you. Okay, that looks a little more like what I wanted, so I'm gonna let it kind of overrun everything. And then we'll remove any excess grass. Yeah, that seems fine with me. Oh yeah, I put these all over the place. Let's clean up the fences, I suppose. But I've been trying my best in Elden Ring. I'm still not like following guides beat by beat because that kind of defeats the purpose of my first Elden Ring playthrough, but I have been trying to look up specific item questions I have. And if it has like a map location, I just like look at the general information it gives me, and if it's something I recognize, I go there, and if not, I don't even like save the page. I kind of just turn it off and I'm like, okay, all I know is I can't get that right now. So I'm trying to still keep it as exploration based as possible while freeing myself up to get good things and beef up my character. I'm trying to put in a lot of extra levels. I want to get to, I don't know if I'll hit level 80 by the time of our like July 4th stream, but I would like to be close to level 80 and have like the first like 10 levels of that be all into like different magic and intelligent things, just so that we have a little bit of more magic stuff we can do, and then of course pour the rest into probably strength and dex. As usual, you can't die to the boss if you kill them first. Now, have I like just died to every single boss? Yeah, but my heart's in the right place. Actually, we could add some of these maple bushes and willows into some of the corners. It might make some of these corners of the map a bit brighter. I'll do that. Let's do flowers first. Let's see. We've got these. Got the purple flowers. I think the goldenrods are a bit too tall. Let's do this. Then do we have any poppies? Let's create some poppy foliage. Let's add a touch of pink. Let's see how all those flowers do. Okay, already I'm gonna crank the density on this and lower the brush. There we go. I want these flower beds to be thick. Right here to explain the gap in the floor. Just put some taller grass around here. Alright, I can live with that. We'll do the same deal over here. But yeah, I'm really happy with how if you've watched like even like any the stuff, even like the VODs and the older highlights uploaded to the YouTube channel, it means the world to me. But I'm really happy with all the like new traffic we've gotten from the Elden Ring Death compilation and from the new tutorials video. It's just nice to see people resonating with it, because in my mind I'm like, well, no one's gonna want to watch this. I don't know if I'd want to watch it, but I want to be heard. I want to do fun stuff and say goofy things. I like it being a combination of me just voicing my goofy thoughts, but then being able to be like, well, I went to school for this, so let me tell you why none of it was actually goofy. All of that was pure game design. So yeah, those, I mean, I guess I'm lying a bit, because those are I do like to watch those types of videos a lot. So it means a lot that it's resonating with folks. I do want to start, even though this video probably won't be complete until like probably August or something, but I do want to start like editing the deaths and victories portions of the Elden Ring streams we have so far, and just saving that in a file, and just that way it's a little less work for me to do all at once when we do that next compilation. I'm thinking we'll probably have maybe like 4 or 5 total for our full Elden Ring playthrough. I'm thinking, so we already have the one, my intro to Elden Ring stuff. We're gonna have a second one that's probably April through July, I'm guessing. Because yeah, we've done 3 streams so far, and then we'll do 3 more before the end of July. Probably, yeah, if July 4th is our Elden Ring July stream, then we'll probably have it done then. So maybe I can actually get that out sooner than I thought. It depends how on top of it I am with the video editing for that stuff. I won't try to keep myself to a deadline for that, but that would maybe come out, like end of July maybe, for everybody. I kind of want to have some of these flowers in other places too. I'll sprinkle a few just throughout. Or, oh, we want to have the ferns also. Grab those. But yeah, we'll have basically our like summer montage, I guess, of Elden Ring stuff. Then we'll have a third one for August, September, October. Which might be in comparison, I guess, a little bit shorter if we only end up doing, if those months end up being busy for us and we end up doing only like 4 hours or so a month of that. That might end up being a very short compilation, but the reason I'd want to do one then is we will be playing it for Extra Life, of course, this year. And that will be like 20 hours of Elden Ring to edit. That might double as, I don't know if I'll just do a full like Extra Life compilation or if I'll split it into like the Mario Party section and the Elden Ring section. I guess I could just make one Extra Life compilation. And pull some of the Elden Ring highlights from that and just put it in both playlists. And then for whatever remaining streams we have of Elden Ring, that will probably be one like final compilation. I guess I lied. There would probably be 6 total compilations. One final like Deaths and Victories compilation for whatever remains after Extra Life. And then we do a compilation of the compilations so that the total journey is just like an hour or 2 of viewing. Oh, I said I was gonna put the ferns in and then I didn't. That's okay. I like how it's looking right now. Except back here. We'll put the ferns in over here. I feel like this one can use just something that makes it different. Or the willows and maple bushes. Put them all in. Oops. I know you have your textures. Don't play with me right now. I know you have them. Well, I'm gonna let... I know they have them. I'm gonna let you think on that. I'm gonna let you think about what you've done. Let's fill up this back part with them also. maybe some parts can have more rocks. Especially, I guess, around wherever we have... Oh, I didn't check them. Around wherever we have debris of stuff. That's too much. That's too much. That's better. Do a bit of that, a bit there. Oh no, I still have a... What plant is active? Who's on? Yo, turn off. The rocks up there. Alright, not bad, not bad for now. For just getting the ideas in. I know you have your materials, so I guess we'll just leave that for now. That's a problem for next week. Let me save across levels. Trees. Let's do trees, then destruction, then we'll play test and simulate, and then we'll probably just call it a night. Keep it nice and short. But yeah, I have a tree up there, very much what I wanted. Let's do a small tree here. But yeah, there's not going to be like a grove of trees or anywhere where there's particularly a lot of them. Just, do I want any of these like thick trees? I don't think I want any of these like taller ones. Yeah, I'm interested, or at least none of like the thick ones, but mostly interested in any trees like this one that can be used to be tall line of sight, partial like visibility blockers, but not really collision blockers. Oh my gosh, foliage just brings the piece together. I know it's still blocked out, it's still ugly, but it's ugly with flowers now. That's so much better than normal ugly. There's flowers. We got trees. Actually, I feel like if we can do one big tree, just one here at the back of the map, so it's not really interfering with anything too much. But yeah, that makes sense there, and then we can surround it with some smaller stuff. Decals. I forgot about decals. That's good. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Yeah, just putting some like worn out decals wherever we have seams, like on some of the ramps, at least today would be nice. We'll see, we'll see. So do we have anywhere else? We probably don't need to place trees really anywhere. Maybe some right here. Oh wait, that one's on the fence. Let's not do that. There we go. I'm making it look pretty, but I have to remember that the original is not supposed to be pretty. Oh, we have a few accidental ferns popping up. You. I think we're good. Let's do decals before we break stuff more. I'm just going to put this on our ramps. So yeah, I just want to kind of, it doesn't fully cover the seam or anything, but just having a little something lined up so that it looks like there's a wear and tear on the ramps. Actually, that kind of in that instance defines it a bit more. That's fine. That's fine. Decals are a slippery slope because it's also very easy to overdo them, which seems fine in the moment because once you place down a bunch of decals on something, it's like, well, it looks great, so what's the issue? Debugging's the issue. When you have like a bug and it's like, hey, there's a weird shadow over there, can someone check it out? And you go to look and there's like 2 billion decals. You're like, which one's causing the bug? For the most part, I really like decal work. It's peaceful. I keep quoting Rogue One, but I do have to watch season 2 of Andor. I really loved season 1. I'm just waiting to binge it all at once, I think. I used to be really big on catching Disney Plus shows like live on the day. Especially with like the Marvel ones, but I've kind of just returned to binging format. I've been like binge watching more shows rather than like YouTube at work. Or I'll usually try to like watch a stream at the beginning and end of my work days, but like in the middle of the work days around like the lunch hour or when I'm in and out of calls, just starting and stopping a show is a lot easier than like getting invested and having to come and go into a stream or like with a YouTube video and remember what's going on. I've been binging. One of my favorite shows growing up was Once Upon a Time, but I think my family only watched up to season 5, through season 5, and then season 6, I remember I remember a few episodes of season 6A, the first half of it, but not like fully. And I also think I'm on season 6 right now in this re-binge. And I can see why. Season 6 is a little rough. A lot of people will say, if they've watched Once Upon a Time, they'll be like, it falls off after season 3 because they introduce Frozen and Disney overrides everything. And there's definitely a tone shift, but the Frozen arc is one of the better parts of the last few seasons of Once Upon a Time. Frozen did not... I could make a whole video on this, actually. It would veer a little outside of game design, but I could still, and probably will one day, make a video about. Frozen didn't ruin Once Upon a Time, but the way they like retconned and like made some characters retread ground and like what they did with some characters in seasons 4 and 5 and 6, especially the main cast. I think the biggest issues are what they do with Snow White. Snow White is such a complex and well-written character in the first like season or two, because she is presented as like very perfect and pure in the first season, and then like at the end of the first season and throughout the second season, she annoys you. She is so annoying, but she's still complex because you understand why she would be so annoying. Like, you understand it, but you also grow to hate her, but there's a complexity behind it. But they just kind of ignore a lot of parts of like what that complexity was and just kind of make her... She's mean when someone needs to be mean but have no consequence to it, or she's like the, oh well, we should be good and I've never done anything evil clearly in my life ever, like beacon of good randomly whenever one needs to be had. Like, her character kind of shifts all over the place, and it doesn't happen right away with Prince Charming either, but the same does start to happen with him, especially in season 4B, I think, is when his character suddenly goes from like, a lot of people call him boring, but I always really liked his character until season 4B. He then takes a nosedive from a quiet character with a lot of inner complexities to just a himbo, I guess. But yeah, I've really been enjoying rewatching it, even with season 6 being a bit more painful, because I'm like, well, and I never saw season 7, which was like a soft reboot of the show, so I'm sure I will have opinions on that. But I think where I remember giving up on Once Upon a Time, because yeah, it was not Frozen at all. I was actually really psyched for Frozen to come to Once Upon a Time, but it was the end of season 5. They like introduced the new villain. Usually they introduce the new villain like the last few episodes alongside the current villain, for like the last few episodes of an arc, but they beat the villain and there's like 3 or 4 episodes at the end of the season that sets up the new villain, and it's like really, it's just really boring. You have like 3 or 4 episodes of wondering, why hasn't the season ended yet, which is not something you ever want to feel when watching a show. But yeah, I've been trying to binge watch all of it because I found someone put together a list of Once Upon a Time but in chronological order, which is absolutely not the way to watch if it's your first time watching it. But as someone that grew up with the show, I'm definitely interested to see, since half of the show is flashbacks, but how they view the characters changes over each season. I'm definitely interested to see, if you watch it in chronological order, if it makes sense, or if characters, when you watch their story back to back, act really differently from one scene to the next, and if it feels really unnatural or not. So I don't even know if it'll be good or not to watch it like that, but I want to find out. Also, hello there, Natsack. How are you doing tonight? fracture this. Let's fracture it again, actually. Oh, I've pruned the entire mesh. Let's see, which pieces do we want to delete out of here? Definitely you. Definitely this tiny floating corner. I kind of want to take this piece out also. I just don't want this edge to be so sharp. Maybe I'll just there we go. Maybe we'll just fracture it again here and no. And prune this part. Actually, I don't mind the split down the middle there. That's fine. That piece is still sharp, but that's fine. It's fine. I want to leave this piece of cover intact since it's in front of a jump pad, but I do want to add a lot of destruction to these other pieces of cover. I think that's really what this map has been missing, was a good destructive pass on it, which is how a lot of this map is designed in the original game. Actually, only gonna fracture these once and just see what all we can get rid of. Oh, I like that. That's clean. That says war happened here. That's a clean cut. We gotta go bald. Do some on both sides for this one. Oh, this is a big piece. That might be too big. I think we need to fracture this piece again. And then prune the edge. Yeah, I like that. This one I want to be the most damaged out of these three. So we'll fracture it twice. Doesn't look bad. I might actually rotate this a little more than it technically is in the lineup. Just so that this can be used as a solid piece of cover if you're dashing around the corner. Rather than if it were where it is originally, you kind of have to dash over here, but then you're more open to the person spawning in here, or you dash and miss and fall into the pit of despair. So rotating it like this is a solid dash, and you get this upper piece of cover from over there. Even though that's not technically how I blocked it out, but that's how it's gonna work. Okay, so now this whole side in the original game is like is all messed up. It got messed up in the original game. It is technically alright, it's uploading. Yeah, it's technically like this piece here. I think my cousin's standing on it here. Shout out Cup Drinker on YouTube. That's my cousin. He got us these screenshots. Oh, this part. Oh, I forgot there's a bit of destruction on this spiral piece over here. But yeah, there's some destruction on this as well. So let's go ahead and apply some of that. I don't think I'll make it, since we have like so much set up already, I won't make it as extreme, but let's take a chunk out of this piece. Oh, that's why the grass cube inside. That's fine though, I can just... That's fine. Or actually maybe we leave the brick there to show that maybe less is more when it comes to this piece. Just do that. Let's turn off snapping. Let's do a little cheat here where we stretch it slightly. I think I kind of want to just take a chip out of the upper corner here. Yeah, let's do like cluster. This breaks it into a lot more fine pieces, so it's going to be a little more annoying. It's going to be a little more annoying to take away from, but what that means is it should be easier to chip away at. Yeah, we should probably put like a... Oh my gosh, my screen froze. My heart dropped. That was scary. Guess we should probably replace what's inside of these walls with something brick. But that might be for our polished stuff next week. I just want to get where the destruction is marked at least. And you can reuse these geometry collections as well. Like you can just, what I've done in the past on projects is just make like 4 or 5 of these like collections for a mesh, put them in a folder, and then when people are placing them, they can choose a variation that they like. Like you can label the variations like complete destruction, or maybe you can anchor stuff in place also. I forgot about that, but in the hierarchy you can like pick certain pieces to yeah, you'll see that it has this anchored state here, so by anchoring them in place, if you have it with the dynamic physics of the destructible stuff, there is like a volume you have to apply to stuff so that when it interacts with these geometry collections they'll explode. But you can do it so, for instance, if we anchored, let's say, this left part of the wall down and left everything else, like, to be interacted with that physics object, if we were to shoot this with a grenade with that property, all of these chunks on the right side would like blow out, but this left piece would stay in place and not moved. So if you want to do something where you want to like destroy a hole in the wall, but you don't want the entire wall to collapse, right? You just want a cool like fracture cut out in the middle. That's how you would do it, is you would anchor the outer points down, which we'll probably do eventually. We'll probably do a second pass on all of these geometry collections, but I haven't set up the grenade in Lyra to have those properties yet, so we can't really use it at the moment. Anyway, so we're not gonna bother with that today. Yeah, we're gonna slim these down quite a bit. Actually, I might just do like this outer wall and this one. I might leave this corner intact to kind of serve as a visual anchor. Actually, undo that last one. We don't need it to be that refined because I'm just gonna take away these pieces. Oh, I have to turn off showing bone colors on those. Oopsie. Oh, I didn't mean to fracture all of that again, no. So let's see how they look normally. Yeah, I like that for now. So now we just have to grab all of the things we destroyed, and I am going to just for now, I'm gonna set the collision to just block all. This isn't a collision I think we'll want for the destructible stuff, but just for now for playtesting purposes so we don't clip through anything. Oh, I forgot this tower had a bit of... Oh, and I wanted to destroy this one too. Okay, let me set the collision on the things that I have in mind. Hello there, it's Zoltan. Knowledgeable with BPs? Against my will, yes. I'm more of a visual level designer, but I have ended up using many BPs before, so I'm not quite sure on what the proper procedure is for blueprinting. But I do know the basics, and I do know my way of doing things. Let's go ahead and do a new geometry collection for you. And what we're gonna do here is... Actually, we're gonna fracture this kind of a bunch. And we're gonna take these front pieces and fracture them again. Until we have some areas that are just the exterior part here and kind of untouched to the center. Can my headset last for more than 1 hour with the lights on? Hello? Plug in my headset real quick, even though we're nearing the end of the stream anyway. Power on my music. My music? Hello? My headset? What? There we go. Your mental's about to explode. Oh, I've been there with blueprints. Let me see if I can at least help point you in the right direction. Build system for base building. Everything was working fine. Close and real came back hours later and it's not working. No update. You had compiled and saved and haven't changed anything. It defies any logic and I'm about to use it. Yeah, I'm not really sure any of the like details on that, and I don't know if any details would help me with like I'm good at using systems once I onboard onto them, but not really good at creating systems themselves. Is a little out of my wheelhouse, but my troubleshooting for that would be my guess is you might have compiled and saved like the actual system and the actual blueprint itself, but I would check the reference viewer maybe. And I would see what other stuff you interacted with. Maybe one of those things didn't get saved and compiled. I've definitely had stuff where everything's working fine, you go to sleep, and then you come back and you're like, what happened? I didn't change anything. But that would be what I would look into debugging-wise, is going through the reference viewer and trying to see if there's anything else that might have gone wrong at some point. Works on any flat terrain, for example. Then that feels like it might be maybe... that makes it trickier. Because it shouldn't be an issue with the map itself, then. But yeah, that would be my guess, is maybe oh, you're doing it on yeah, if you are doing something, I'm not sure specifics here for systems, but I do know I've run into a lot of problems where something will work on a static mesh terrain or a flat terrain, but it won't work on landscape. And landscape collision, I think behind the scenes just works a little bit differently. So yeah, if it's landscape, my guess is that is the cause of the issue. Especially if stuff is like targeting to the ground in some way, then my guess is maybe your landscape refreshed, so it like was able to put it down regularly at first, and then maybe like even just saving the map. It could be something where you saved it and the landscape refreshed on reload and kind of rebroke everything. In fact, I actually, not on this map here, but we had like a landscape, like we had an issue with like the water tool in UE5, and it was kind of targeting to, I forgot I had a test landscape in the same map, so it was targeting to that instead of like our main landscape. So I would see if you have multiple landscapes, I would look into that, but even if it's just one, that can be a bit problematic, yeah. Unreal's fun. Why are none of these... Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna do... Screw it, we're doing cluster. You can turn down the sites per cluster, and that helps a little bit. Screw it, we cluster in. All I want to do is prune these individual pieces, but not get too hollow into the actual building itself. Oh, I realize this does make the holes into the building a bit too big, probably. That's fine, we'll deal with that another time. Next week, probably. What does it look like if I prune this whole piece? A little too open. We'll just leave it like this for now. I think maybe what this could use is some decals, actually. Let's try that right now. Let me switch this to block owl, because this is a very large piece of this is a very large mesh to not have blocking the players. Just do that for now. Oh, there's a tiny little speck of dirt. No, I don't want to put foliage on it, no. There we go. If we just put this decal on the corner of this, how will that turn out? Let's make it thicker. Stretch that out like that. There, that helps it with the destruction look a little bit more. Just a nice decal. Kind of want to put one of those on top to help with the difference in the stone lighting. I have a second level that's an exact replica, but with fog, and it works on there. Interesting. Yeah, unfortunately it might just be one of those things where it's some really tiny change somewhere. Another thing that might be worth checking out is like if there's any difference in your world settings at all. Like between the two maps. Just like any, even like trivial thing. There have been a lot of times with Unreal where I've been like, that shouldn't affect this. And then it's been like, my gosh, it affected it. You fixed it? Ooh, out of curiosity, what was it? 'Cause now I gotta know. The swimming system! Oh. Always that dang hidden collision. I'm glad you fixed it. Okay, this decal's not gonna work here. Let me... No, not the weapon! I'm glad you were able to proof it out. Another thing about Unreal debugging I find is, I know programmers like use this method, like the rubber ducky method, where sometimes you just need to like say it and out loud and talk through what you're doing to just an object like a rubber ducky or a streamer, such as myself, and just talk through it, and then you'll be able to figure it out yourself. Like you'll hear any steps you're missing as you say it out loud versus like sitting and staring at it. I just use my cat to yap to about that. He probably knows more about Unreal than I do at this point. I've discussed a career's worth of level design to him. Put this man in game design. Just kept saying out loud, this defies all logic. Yeah, I've said that quite a bit too. And when all else fails, it does feel like a horrible option in the moment, I'll say, but sleeping on it genuinely helps a lot. There have been some like late nights I've pulled at like work and stuff where I've been like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong with this system. Like it doesn't make any sense. And I've spent like 4 hours on it or something, and I'll go to bed or take a nap, and then I'll be able to fix it in like 30 minutes when I wake up. So yeah, sometimes the best kind of sanity check we can do is on our own minds. Though, when in doubt, do just blame the engine for everything. Also, thank you for the follow. Yeah, if you like hearing game dev woes, I like to do these little, kind of just for fun, not my best work certainly, but I like to do these little just like sandbox game dev and chill streams on Thursday nights. I'm not good at the arenas I make, but I do like making them. Ooh, I like that you spawn in foliage over there now. That's better. But yeah, I do these game dev streams on Thursday nights. And then otherwise, I am still just like a little variety channel, so like playing Nintendo games and JRPGs and farming sims. And Elden Ring. We're playing Elden Ring right now because it's painful. Dang, you know what I'm gonna do? Well, I'll do it once we lose, but I think I'm just gonna let the bots simulate it and fight it out. That's actually how I know a level's coming along a bit better, is when the bots are able to nav to me all the time and they're able to use my level design against me. That's when I know it's coming together. But that's also when, if I want the best footage, I just gotta let them get it for me. Maybe for my next portfolio reel, if I grab anything out of Lyra, I'll do that. I'll just let them fight it out and be like, whoa, look at this cool footage. Isn't that awesome? I know for my last portfolio I did last year. Wait a minute. What happened to the... Huh? Did this break on start? Is it slightly off the ground? Oh no, it's because there's a mesh going into it. I was like, what? What happened to the tower? This looks sick though. It destroys the navigation completely. Poor Hubert here is confused, but this is sick. But this is why we playtest, because now the nav's extremely broken and all the AI is getting a bit confused. Not him, but mainly do programming. Ooh. Do you have any opinions on Lyra? Because all of like my programming coworkers, Lyra is like really great as a template if you don't want to edit it. Yeah, every programmer I've talked to about Lyra is like, it's such a pain. Not that it's the most difficult thing in the world, but it's just such a pain. Never used it. I don't recommend it if you're a programmer. I don't recommend it. Because yeah, again, it's not like the most difficult thing in the world, as I understand, but even just comparing this template to the regular third-person shooter template, like, I've a million times over, professionally and in personal work, know where to edit, like, the health component, or I know how to change the projectile on a weapon. All of that is, like, locked behind code, so even one day I said, screw it, fine, I'll go outside of my comfort zone and I'll open Visual Studio. And that stuff is locked behind like another layer of stuff. Like all the basic data you'd want to edit is like hidden. And then when I finally find it, there's a lot of unfinished stuff. And like what's supposed to be a template for wide use. A lot of stuff is just unfinished and bugged once you look behind the scenes of this. Yeah, Unreal Lyra, still Unreal Engine 5, it's just like a free template that you can use to start a project, and it's got like all of the gameplay here. I didn't have to set any of it up really, I just set the game mode to team deathmatch, place the spawners down, and we're good to go. So pretty easy setup, but since I want to change some of this stuff to be more closer to how Kid Icarus's battle mode is in the 3DS game, I do want to change stuff to be like more melee focused and to lower some of the damage values and raise the health so that matches last a bit longer. Let's just let it simulate for now. I ain't doing all that again. But yeah, that's going to prove to be an uphill battle. Yeah, this is breaking because it's interacting with this. I'm gonna leave it for now because it looks cool, but yeah, something like this is very much a bug for nav reasons. I was on a project once where the direction was just, what if everything was destructible? Would that be a design challenge? You wouldn't believe. I have nightmares about that project to this day. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, God. Which is why I didn't put destructibles in these levels, even though they really benefit from it. We actually just started making stuff destructible last week because I had PTSD. Yeah, right now I'm just kind of remaking some stuff from Kid Icarus. So like, these are the two maps we've been working on so far. Both of these maps probably have about 10-12 hours of work into them so far this year, since we're just putting like a couple hours in like a week or every other week if I'm busy, just to kind of de-stress. But stuff like the spiral tower, which I realized paper designing the top down kind of looks like a Yoshi. But yeah, just I like to have in progress stuff too, so folks just know the ugly side of game dev also. Like, in order to get to the prettier scenic shots like this, you have to have the really like ugly empty shots like this and iterate on it. So yeah, we've gotten Spiral Tower to a, like, definitely want to do a more production art and lighting pass on it eventually, but we've gotten it to a good stopping point, so wanted to revisit this map and do some foliage work on it. Make it a little pretty. Using geometry collections. I kind of got into it a bit last game dev stream. Oh, they're getting stuck again. Maybe I'll anchor everything for now to fix this. But yeah, basically I was on a project, not in my current place of work, not my current project at all. It was a while ago, but I was on a project that really hurt me mentally and emotionally because I'm very much an outspoken level designer and I had been like growing a lot, so it was very much a core part of who I am is I like to do level design. And me and another very talented and very hardworking level designer as well, she and I both got kind of shafted to just making destructibles for a project. And there was no documentation from us from like anyone else. We were like the ones that were supposed to learn and document this whole system. And it's terrifying. It is terrifying to look online and be like, what do people know about this? And all of the feedback online is just like, this is a bug with the system. There is no known way to fix this. And it's like, well then, that's scary. And to have like a bunch of people being like, hey, you're supposed to be the experts on this now, what have you learned? And we're like, all we've learned is that it's broken, it's busted. But we still managed to put out top of our line work. We still managed to work with art very closely, and the artists were like really pleased with what we were doing. But the reason I have destructible PTSD isn't actually any of the design challenges, because I've never been one to back down from a design challenge, but was like at the end of like the milestone, she and I asked, we asked our higher ups, we're like, hey, so out of curiosity, when do we do level design again? You know, because destructibles are cool, but we're level designers. And the response was, oh, I didn't know you ladies were level designers. It says so on our title. It says level designer on our title. We had been on like 3 or 4 other projects where our work as level designers had like were shining moments, and that's why I have some destructible PTSD. Is I never want to back down from learning new skills, but I also don't want to ever define myself to one skill set. I don't want to ever just be the, oh, she's knows how to use this system, so she's only ever going to use this for the rest of her life. I always want to just learn new things, I guess. But I think in a way these past 2 weeks have been pretty healing for me with destructible stuff. Geometry collections, I still think they're busted. I still think there's a lot wrong with them, but they are pretty easy ways to make pretty low-level destruction. That tower is causing a lot of nav issues with this dude. Oh. You want to remake a WoW zone? See you in 5 years. Yeah, that's a bit bigger scope than I would plan for a personal project. But if you have 5 years, I mean, shoot, why not? I'm kind of joking. We might genuinely spend 5 years on this. Right now, my thought was I would just remake an arena or 2 and just do it in base, like, Lyra stuff, and then move on to something else. But I think these arenas are small enough that we can always keep moving on and blocking out a new one. So I jokingly at first said when Kid Icarus, I was really convinced Uprising would be announced as a remake for the Switch 2 presentation, because the new like mouse control, it's perfect for Kid Icarus. But when I saw Kirby Air Riders get Sakurai instead of Kid Icarus, I don't know if we're ever gonna get it. So I'm kind of thinking now I will keep working on this like Kid Icarus project until we get a remake. If that is just like, if they announce a remake and it releases sometime in the like next couple years, that's great. We can just remake a few more arenas and be on our way. If we end up remaking the entire Light versus Dark mode and the entire main campaign, I guess we remake the whole game then if we have to. I know a little bit about WoW. I'm not much of a MMO person. I would love to bucket list this. I would love to work on an MMO one day. I was like in the layoffs. Game industry is terrifying right now, but I was in like layoffs for several months at the start of last year. So I did get to interview with a lot of places working on like MMOs and stuff. So I did dip my toes a little bit more into that. The only one I kind of played the most when I was a teenager was Neverwinter. I did really like that, but socializing with people scared me. And then I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan, but I never actually played 14 until this past year. I did kind of like the opening few hours of it, and I actually really enjoyed it. You're able to do a lot more in single player than you were when it kind of initially launched in its first few years. But yeah, I know I actually had friends in college that really liked WoW, so I saw a lot of WoW cinematics and stuff whenever a new expansion dropped. They were like, this is a huge deal, and I'm like, it's very pretty, but I don't know what's going on. I prefer to like use marketplace assets for my stuff. But yeah, I do level design as my career. Kind of my career path with it was I went to college for a game design and development bachelor's degree for 4 years. And about halfway through college is when I actually realized I liked game design and level design specifically. I didn't take my first level design course until my junior year of college, and I was like, oh, I like this. This is what I want to do. So that was nice, but yeah, then I got very fortunate right out of college. I think like 2 days after I graduated, I started a job at a little like AA studio that did a lot of contract work. So my first, I did an indie title with my friends in college, so that's my first like kind of level design credit, is on a little Steam project called Sonata Theory that we did in college. But then my first AAA credit was actually on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I did some arena work in there, so that was a lot of fun and very fast-paced. I got to learn a lot of stuff right off the bat. But yeah, after that I did a couple years of a lot of unannounced unreleased stuff that I hope will see the light of day one day. But yeah, I did a couple projects over a couple years that are sealed behind NDA, but I can say like one of them especially, I made lifelong like connections to people with, and it is some of my, I hope I can talk about it one day. It might be when I'm old and in a retirement home, but it's some of my favorite work I've ever done, and I'm really proud of it. And I took charge on a lot of stuff for that one, but unfortunately all good things kind of came to an end with like layoffs hitting the industry. It's still going on, but especially the start of last year I got caught up in those. But it took a few months, and it took a lot of just time interviewing and revising my portfolio and whatnot, but I was able to find a place with an indie company called Fray Interactive, and that's where I'm at still to this day. I think actually this summer it will be about a year with them. but working on an early access SCP title, which is really cool. And I'm happy to say I'm doing level design work. I haven't been relegated to just like destructibles. Though my designs are very destructive in nature. It's a very chaotic type of title, so I get to have some wacky ideas and roll with it. If it's GTA 6 or Arc 2. Sadly, no, not GTA 6. So every time I interviewed for something, that would be the first thing like my dad would ask me. He'd be like, is it GTA 6? And I'm like, well, no. But even if it was, I couldn't tell you because you would not be able to keep that secret. And he's like, oh, okay. Do you know anything about GTA 6? I think the closest information I was ever able to tell him was like just like interviewing around and talking to industry connections last year. I was like, I can tell you Rockstar is making video games. I can confirm that. And that actually relieved him. He was like, you know, it's been so long since they put out a new game that I'm glad to hear they are making video games and they're interviewing people about all of their projects. Like, it was just such a relief. My poor dad's very heartbroken about GTA 6 being delayed a year, but I figured it would come out 2026 anyway, honestly. So it don't change my plans, but that poor man's wanted to play GTA 6 for a while. But yeah, I missed the chat earlier, but I wish you the best of luck in completing that bachelor's for game design. I lost again? No. That's fine. Yeah, I do sometimes get nostalgic for my college days a bit. Not the actual, like, exams or anything, but especially my game development classes. I feel like my college capstone when we were all working on Sonata Theory, and then my first year in the AAA industry, like ramping up and working on those arenas for Wonderlands were kind of the fastest I've ever learned stuff. Not to say that I've slacked and I've become less of a good worker over time, but I do feel like the learning periods have been more extended, and it's more of like time commitments via like management rather than my skills of what I can and can't do. But like in terms of learning in a short period, it definitely kicked off during those last 2 years of college and just kind of ran through my first AAA project. It was just non-stop learning, so it can be a bit overwhelming in the moment, but I think it's definitely getting your degree in game dev stuff. You'll definitely look back on it and be fond for those experiences. College can be expensive, but I think sometimes I wonder, I'm like, was it worth all the money? And sometimes I do genuinely wonder that, but I'm like, just for the connections alone, and just giving me like, just the capstone giving me time cut out to work on a project with other people and ship it, like that, maybe not worth years of student debt, but it is worth something. Coming from somebody that has been across all levels of game development and graduated college a few years ago myself. If that makes it any better. Friend started his own indie dev company. He's a software dev and you got him into game dev. That's awesome. Definitely, I definitely am kind of liking being in indie development right now because the entire games industry is in a bit of turmoil. And while I would love to get back to like the big scene and like the big titles again one day, it's been really healing to do indie dev. So that's my recommendation to people, is if you're like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to like make a game or something, or I don't know if I'll be able to make it into big industry. Even super experienced people are unsure of that right now. So look more at indie stuff and look at, if you want to make a game, just set yourself up for success from the start. Indie games are awesome. We're listening to Stardew Valley music right now. I love indie games. Yeah, let's go ahead and let this simulate a bit. I want to see how they're doing again. Stay still. Stay still. Let me click on you. I'm gonna click on someone for you. Yeah. Let me just search hero shooter. Oh, in all caps? There we go. Yeah, Schedule 1's crazy. I really want to... I need to buy Fantasy Life this month, and we just bought and played Split Fiction, my boyfriend and I. We just like finished that up. So I'm like, I've been buying games, so I shouldn't be buying anymore. I have games to buy. I need to buy the Switch too. But I really want to play Schedule 1. I've been watching so many people play it, and I really want to play multiplayer. Like, it's something I either want to play, like, with my partner or, like, with our group of friends. Like, there's just something wholesome about, you know, making weed with your friends and getting arrested. Actually, it's a game, my mom and dad like playing, like, farming sims and cozy games together, but they do so in, like, a min-maxy way. Like, my mom 100% in min-max management games, like, in a few days, and then she'll be like, when are they making the next one? And I'm like, probably like 4 to 5 years between these types of games releasing nowadays. And she's like, I need a new management game now. And I'm like, that was supposed to be like a year of content. You blew through it in a few days. So I'm kind of tempted to put my parents on the Schedule 1 and be like, it's in early access, so you're gonna get regular updates to it, you know? You guys can just think of it as Stardew Valley, but with a twist. Oh my gosh, this nav is like really freaking them out. So do I have it just... is the nav on this? Okay. Yeah, I should probably fill collision underneath. I don't know if that updated live or not. Actually, it might have live updated. They seem to be doing a bit better. Yeah, games are getting pricey. I know a lot of people... when I say I love Nintendo, I'm talking about the games and the devs. Nintendo devs never deserve any hatred. I'll defend them with my life. Nintendo's business practices aren't always the greatest. I'm not gonna say they're the worst though, because they care about their employees, and especially that's given me a lot to reflect about in the modern climate. I'm like, damn, that sounds amazing. Wait a minute, are there destruction things on the... Where'd my other cover go? Where did it... Dang it. Actually, my new place is pretty awesome, but... And so was my old place. But... yeah, there's a lot of places out there that are very corporate first, right? And so when Nintendo being like, we love our employees, why would we torture them, is pretty refreshing. But in terms of like their pricing, it's not the worst to me still, but it's not the best. I'm very excited. I'm very down to drop 500 on that Mario Kart and Switch 2 bundle. I don't know when I'll be getting Donkey Kong and Prime 4, even though I've wanted both of those. I've wanted a new, like, Mario-ish platformer for years. I've waited for Prime 4 for a while, so they should be day one buys for me, but they are very expensive, so I kind of see myself in terms of AAA games like getting like maybe one every few months now, rather than like, I remember as a kid being able to walk into GameStop every like month, or like every time you go to the mall and be like, okay, this is how much allowance I have. I'll have to buy used games, but I can buy a few cheap used games. And you kind of just don't get that vibe anymore. The closest I can get to that is like during the Steam summer sale, or like big holiday sales or something, and grabbing a bunch of indie stuff for cheap is really nice, but it's kind of hard to find that with AAA games. They kind of don't. Nintendo games never go on sale is the thing, and then AAA games for other ones go on sale for a lot, but kind of like after a few years. So it's definitely, the economy's definitely economying. Oh my gosh. Do not try to go through this. Show me the nav for this. Maybe it just needs to be refreshed, because otherwise I don't know what they're doing. Oh no, I don't want to play. No. Just let me watch. See if they're navigating all right through here. Bad RNG in your own game. Oh, I feel that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, there's nav inside. Here's what we're gonna do. I could just place a nav modifier volume, but you know what? I'm gonna do something even better. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Gonna do you one even better. Let me actually be a little organized and put this in like pickups or something. Do that, and oh, we do want it to. No, just the up. Did you really build? There we go. I was like, no way you built collision underneath when I told you not to. Okay, we're gonna simulate one more time just out of curiosity, but I'm not gonna harp on this all night. Oh, I should hide it too. Actually, maybe we could put a brick texture in here. That might actually be better, so I'll leave it blank for now so I remember to do that later. Do not go and stand there. Why? This was not a problem until today. Okay, I don't want to get too hung up on it, because those two are gonna drive me insane if I let them. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, we definitely did a foliage press. It's looking actually a bit more colorful than the original game did, but that's something I kind of like doing, is making it a little prettier. So yeah, we could definitely do more destructibles on the main building next week. Next week will be kind of mostly a playtesting and planning week across our 2 current levels. We'll be taking the last 2 Thursdays of this month off because I'm really excited about Fantasy Life. I've been waiting for that game to come out for many years now, and it's finally actually here. So we are going to take the last 2 weeks of May, all of our morning streams, night streams, and weekend streams that we have once that comes out for the remainder of May will be fantasy life streams, and then we'll resume our normal broadcasting schedule in June. So we'll resume this in June as well. But we're basically going to see what all we want to do next on these 2 levels, which level we want to block out next and add to the roster, and also any last like polished things we want to do before the short break. So probably a little bit more destructible stuff, probably a little bit of lighting here and there, maybe some like gameplay revisions if we have time. But yeah, that is currently going to be the plan. A tree changes everything. It look pretty now. Epic account was hacked. Oof, I hope that don't happen to me. That sucks. Best of luck with that, and thank you again for the follow. I'm glad you were able to get that problem all debugged today. And yeah, we are going to wrap it up here. If you guys haven't seen on YouTube my first video essay on tutorials, that is up on our YouTube right now. And yeah, the next video, the follow-up to that, will be in a month, and I hope to make those a monthly thing. But yeah, otherwise, next stream next game dev stream will be a week from now, and I might do a weekend stream. We're currently playing through Wanderstop on our Monday and Wednesday morning streams. Potential weekend stream at some point this weekend, but otherwise I'm taking this weekend off for Mother's Day and for some other personal stuff, so potential pop-up stream this weekend. Just keep your notifications on if you want to see that. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week for some more game dev and some more morning streams. So, take care everybody.